I'm the second person in the world to platinum Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Stalker 2 has 59 trophies, including the platinum, requiring me to collect all 77 equipment upgrade flash drives, all 69 artifacts and 6 arch artifacts, discover all 22 regions in the game, get all 4 endings for the game, and so many more, including plenty of missable trophies. So yeah, this is gonna be a long one. Unlike the previous 3 games, Stalker 2 does not have any difficulty related trophies. However, I'm still going to be playing the game on veteran difficulty. I would be playing on master difficulty, except for it having expedition mode turned on, which only lets you save when you're in a friendly outpost, meaning every time you die, you can potentially lose hours worth of progress, which I'd really rather avoid. The game opens up with our apartment being destroyed, with a glowing rock present inside of it. And upon picking it up, we're thrust into seeing a truck driving down the road being driven by Dr. Herman, which you may remember from Stalker Call of To me, this cutscene is actually very reminiscent of Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, like the cutscene that opened up that game. When the truck crashes, ending the cutscene, we discover that we are playing a stalker named Skiff, and that we're working with Dr. Herman to try and recharge the artifact from our apartment using a device called a scanner. And with that cutscene finishing, we enter the zone for the first time. Something I'd like to mention is just how good Stalker 2 looks, especially since I started playing it the exact same day that I finished Call of Pripyat, so seeing the change between the 2 games was absolutely crazy. The whole prologue is your standard run-of-the-mill tutorial, which introduces you to the basic game mechanics of Stalker 2. I end up in this laboratory where I find all of the scientists inside dead. I quickly recover some data from one of the laptops in here for data about the scanner that I have on me so I can recharge the artifact. Speaking of artifacts, stepping outside with the echo detector I've recovered off one of the dead scientists, I'm able to recover my first of many artifacts throughout the game. I also get an introduction to the bloodsuckers in Stalker 2, which are a lot more scary in this game with the way that they move and attack you. In previous entries, they never really posed much of a threat to me compared to in this game. Luckily, the game was nice enough to give me an AK to deal with it, and it has reduced health compared to normal, so I'm able to kill it quickly. Moving on from that encounter, I reached the first location where I need to deploy the scanner, which created some electrical anomalies once it finished up. Anomalies on veteran difficulty are actually incredibly deadly in Stalker 2, especially compared to the previous entries in the Stalker franchise. These electric ones will kill you instantly if you step inside of one on veteran difficulty, meaning I have to move very carefully to avoid them. I also get my first experience fighting some bandits, which really lets me appreciate just how much better the shooting mechanics have gotten since the original trilogy. A little bit later, I reach the 3rd scanning site and set up the scanner, but before I can retrieve it, I get ambushed by some soldiers from the Ward faction. As a soldier enters the building, they all get shot by a sniper who's in a nearby tower, which leads to me attempting to retrieve the scanner and run away. Ending with me getting ambushed and knocked out, completing the prologue and earning my first trophy, Welcome to the Zone. Waking up, I discover that I've been stripped of everything except for my pistol with no ammo, and I'm now surrounded by multiple whirligig anomalies. I end up getting introduced to Richter, who ends up giving me some bolts so I can make my way out of the anomaly field. Once I make my way out of the anomaly field and talk with Richter, he ends up giving me a little bit of ammo and some other basic starting supplies, and lets me know about a nearby settlement known as Cilicia, where I can figure out what happened to me. Along my way to Cilicia, I end up encountering a stalker who's under attack from some bandits, which after I kill off the bandits and assist him, he asks me to help out one of his buddies who's at a nearby bandit hideout. While most of the side quests in Stalker 2 are not required to be completed in order to get trophies for the platinum, they are still useful to do whenever you happen upon them, because they usually reward you with quite a large number of coupons, which is the currency in Stalker 2, which can be useful throughout your entire run. This side quest here being one of them. After I kill off all the bandits and go and speak with Gloomy, he lets me know about the cave out back of the bandit hideout has an artifact in it. Before I make my way into the cave though, I end up taking the chance to eat a piece of bread and sausage together, earning me the trophy on the go for consuming bread and sausage at the same time. I quickly made my way through the cave, recovering the artifact within, and when I exited on the other side, I found the Stalkers fighting a group of flesh mutants, which gave me an opportunity to get another trophy. I took the flesh with me into the cave and caused it to die to one of the flame anomalies, earning me the trophy Lockpick for killing a mutant by luring it into an anomaly. From there, I made my way to Zalicia and to the bar, meeting the barkeeper Warlock and Gaffer, who acts kind of like an informal mayor of the town, as well as Captain Zotov from the Ward faction, who's here investigating who killed the 3 Ward soldiers last night. This quest presents the first of many choices within Stalker 2 where you decide which faction you want to side with. I have to find a stalker by the name of Squint who ended up taking sensors off of the dead Ward soldiers. I can either bring the sensors back to Gaffer, or I can bring them to Captain Zotov, but first I'm going to have to recover them. Before I head out, I talk to Warlock to pick up a couple different side quests off of him, as well as take the opportunity to trade with him and go for another trophy. This trophy requires me to execute a trade in which I sell and purchase items which is worth an equal amount of coupons. As soon as I make this trade, I earn my 4th trophy, Tit for Tat. As I make my way out to find Squint, I decided to knock out a side quest for Warlock, recovering money from a stalker named Valak Lumix, who's barricaded himself in a building and is being harassed by bandits. I agree to help the bandits recover the money from Valak, who then ends up asking me for my help and tells me to climb a nearby water tower to recover his stash. Within his stash, he has an AK assault rifle with a PSO scope attached, which I'll be using for the good amount of my playthrough. This side quest doesn't have a trophy for it, but the weapon alone makes it well worth my effort. Moving on, I reach a warehouse which have some bandits who have info on Squint's whereabouts. While here, I end up killing a pack of dogs, which ends up earning me the trophy Proxy for killing a squad that just finished off another squad. This is part of Stalker 2's A-Life system, where it has groups of NPCs roaming the map, trying to take over territory and kill each other, which apparently mutants count as a squad for this trophy. I eventually catch up with Squint, who ends up asking for my help in fleeing the Lesser Zone. I decide to agree to help him, and he asks me to retrieve an artifact in a cave buried beneath this village that he's within. What he failed to tell me is that there's a bloodsucker inside of the cave. I decided for this encounter just to run past the bloodsucker instead of attempting to kill it, because the weapons that I have at this point aren't very good, and I didn't really have much ammo on me. I quickly retrieved the artifact and made my way back to Squint. So I could give him the artifact that I retrieved, but Squint isn't required for any quests later in the game. Also, he doesn't have any trophies associated with him, so...
Yeah, and I'm keeping it. When the ward gets you, try sending them to the cave too.
You bastard! Tim!
With that annoyance out of the way, and another artifact for my collection, it's time to head back to Zalicia. Something important to note here is that while I could give the sensors that I recovered from Squint over to Gaffer, there's a quest later in the game that's only accessible if I give the sensors to Captain Zotov, and this quest, of course, is required for a trophy. So with that in mind, I turned over the sensors to Zotov, who then told me to head to a military installation within the Lesser Zone called the Sphere. Before I left to head to the Sphere, I spoke with the technician Lens and upgraded Skiff's pistol, which is a unique Makarov pistol, and earned the trophy First Touches for performing my first of many equipment upgrades. As I began traveling towards the Sphere, completing some more side quests along the way, I happened upon this group of bandits, who I was able to kill one of them, being very close to one of these whirligig anomalies, so I picked up his body and chucked it inside, earning me the trophy Merry-Go-Round. A couple minutes later, I stumbled upon a group of bandits patrolling and snuck up behind them, slowly killing them off one by one using my knife, earning me the trophy Good Night for performing 20 stealth kills. I finally made it to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R facility and was led inside by a soldier who owed Captain Zotov a favor. Once inside, I began to work my way through the IPSF guards, which takes the place of the military that was present in the original trilogy of games. And I happened to spot the soldier on a rooftop throwing a grenade, which I was able to shoot out of the air, earning me the trophy Catching Up. I kept fighting my way through the facility and eventually reached S.T.A.L.K.E.R, the man who provided the scanner coordinates to me and is believed to have sold me out. After a bit of a heated exchange, he reveals I should speak with Nestor, the kingpin of the garbage region, as he would know more about who sold me out. I'm given the choice to either spare or kill S.T.A.L.K.E.R, which I decided to spare him for this playthrough. He's not necessary for any trophies, but if you do decide to spare him, later in the game you'll encounter him again and receive some stash coordinates. While I was escaping the S.T.A.L.K.E.R facility through the sewers, I happened to earn another trophy by using this submachine gun until it hit 0% durability, earning me the trophy, taking it for granted. I made it back to Silesia and was told to speak with Colonel Korshunov by Captain Zotov. Before I left though, I stopped by Lenz again and fully upgraded Skiff's pistol, earning me the trophy, Pump It Up, for upgrading any weapon fully. I began making my way towards the western checkpoint to leave the lesser zone and move towards the garbage, and along the way encountered this group of bandits, who ended up giving me my 100th headshot, earning me the trophy Clincher. Before I left the lesser zone, I swung by the Poppyfield Arch Anomaly and collected the Weird Flower Arch artifact, of which there's 6 in total that I'll need for a trophy. I then finally made it to the western checkpoint to enter the second region of the game, the chemical plant, and earned the trophy Good Hunting Stalker for leaving the lesser zone for the first time. I catch up with Colonel Korshunov in the garbage region, who lets me know that him and his men are about to attack a bandit outpost led by their leader Chornobyl. Now, this is the quest where you need to give Captain Zotov the sensors when you're in Silesia in order to have access to it. One of the options you'll get during this dialogue is the ability to say you want to speak with Chornobyl before assaulting his outpost. Korshunov lets you know that they've captured a bandit and are holding him captive nearby. What you want to do for the trophy is make your way down to this captive and drop a manual save, and then proceed to gun down the 3 ward soldiers who are guarding this bandit. Once you do so, you'll get radio communications from both Korshunov as well as Chornobyl, and you'll earn the trophy Warden's Drool. With that trophy out of the way, I reload my manual save and go and speak with Chornobyl, which goes about as well as you'd expect.
And there were police sirens and dogs. Man, I must have killed.
I assist the wardens in killing the remaining bandits at the outpost, before I make my way over to the slag heap and speak with the merchant there Huron, asking him for work, which gives me the quest No Honor Among Thieves, which has a trophy related to it. I then take a quick detour back to the lesser zone to collect the weird ball artifact, which I failed to get when I was in there the first time, as well as go to the campfire outside of the bar and sit down, earning me the Goss trophy. I then went back to the garbage and began working on the No Honor Among Thieves quest, which ends up bringing me to a bandit hideout, which I clear out, and I meet a man here named Docent. I have 2 options here. I can either kill him, or I can spare him in exchange for some stash information. If you do spare him, within the stash info he gives you, you'll find a unique submachine gun, which is required for a trophy, so I decide to spare him. I start making my way towards that stash, and along the way I happen upon this group of bandits at these cargo containers, so I pull out my AK and proceed to start killing them, accidentally earning the trophy, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which requires you to get 5 headshot kills within 10 seconds. I then finished making my way to the stash and recovered the unique submachine gun, the Shah's Mate, earning me the trophy Your Move. As part of the main quest within the garbage area, I meet up with Richter again, and end up going to meet up with a bandit leader named Farron, who asks me to help him kill some other bandit leaders in exchange for information that I'm looking for. I decide to take the enlightened route and just gun him and all of his men down instead, and recover a broken PDA. This causes Ward to show up at the slag heap, and I get to meet up with Colonel Korshunov again, as well as meet Dr. Dahlin, who's the head scientist of the S.T.A.L.K.E.R Institute, a scientific research institute that's studying the zone and trying to harness it for the good of mankind. During this cutscene, I'm given the choice to show Korshunov the broken PDA or to withhold it. This won't have any effect on me being able to get the 4 endings later in the game though, and I like the Ward faction, so I decide to show it to him. They end up revealing that the PDA belongs to a former member of the Monolith faction, and that there's an outpost of them at the Wild Island location, which I've been asked to infiltrate on behalf of Ward. As I leave the office, Richter asks to speak with me, and insists that I meet up with the other main faction in this game, S.T.A.L.K.E.R. So I make a detour to an abandoned sawmill and meet up with the leader of S.T.A.L.K.E.R, who's actually the main character of Clear Sky, Scar. He talks to me about how Ward wants to control the zone and use it for their own purposes, and how I should totally help out their faction instead. If you couldn't tell, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the S.T.A.L.K.E.R faction, and you'll see why later in the game. But as soon as the cutscene ends, I earn the trophy, "Would you like some toast?" for meeting up with Scar. I make my way to the Wild Island and meet up with the leader of the Noon faction, which is made up of former Monolith members, and I meet up with another returning character from Call of Pripyat, Strider. I help him disable a scanner that's gone haywire, and then ask him about the PDA that was recovered. He asks me to recover an inductor from the waste processing station so we can track down former Monolith members. I arrive to find that everyone at the facility, except for 2 members of the Noon faction, have gone crazy thanks to a controller mutant in the basement. So I fight my way through and kill the controller and recover the inductor. As I head out to leave, I meet up with the 2 Noontiders who are being harassed by mercenaries who were sent here to kill the controller and cover up the incident. During this encounter, I ended up shooting this explosive container, killing 20 enemies using environmental explosions, earning me the trophy, Boom. I then chased down this mercenary wearing an exoskeleton, and using an energy drink, meleeed him to death with my knife, earning me the trophy, Can Opener. I returned back to the Noon base to find one of their members named Faust giving a religious sermon about the monolith and its glory, causing many members of Noon to leave with him. Strider asks me to head to a nearby facility and install the inductor that I recovered from the waste processing station, which I go ahead and do. While I was here, I ended up killing the sniper who's present at the tower in the prologue, and after powering on the inductor, Strider informs me that Faust was the one responsible for stealing the scanner early in the prologue, and now I need to hunt him down. The hunt for Faust brings me to an outpost called Icarus, which I didn't realize it at the time, but I failed to get a side quest here before I proceeded forward with the story and missed out on a trophy opportunity. So I'm gonna have to come back here on another playthrough to get that trophy. Along the way, I meet up with some more familiar faces from Call of Pripyat once again, Sultan, and Beard. And I get to pick up a quest from Beard to help out some stalkers who were captured by a bandit named Ringleader. Once I make it to where they're being held, I'm given a few options to resolve the situation. For a trophy though, I need to choose to participate in the show, where I am told to shoot apples off the heads of the stalkers. Doing so without killing any of them earns me the trophy Apple Shot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Bravo. Bravo. Give yourselves a round of applause. Don't be shy now.
Yikes, that was close.
Continuing on with the main quest, I end up encountering Nimble, who was the stalker who was present in the prologue that ended up knocking me out instead of killing me, and I choose to spare his life, in exchange for him telling me on how to reach the Clear Sky base in the swamps. While I was working my way towards the Clear Sky base, I had a great opportunity here at this water pumping station in the swamps with these zombies to shoot them through this little piece of wood, giving me the trophy No Obstacle Too Big for killing 50 enemies through cover. A little bit later, I ran into my first Chimera mutant in the game, which gave me an opportunity to earn another trophy. For this trophy, what you have to do is get into combat with a Chimera and then successfully run away from it until you're out of combat. Doing this earned me the trophy Run Stalker Run. A little bit later, I caught up with Faust at the Clear Sky base, and after a cutscene in which he's able to escape yet again, I end up earning the trophy Eyes on the Prize for recovering my scanner and the artifact within it. After finishing up with Faust, I returned back to the Sultansk ship and spoke with Sonia, who gave me a mission called 3 Captains, which has a trophy related to it. Before I got into that mission though, I went back to the Icarus facility, realizing I missed out on the side quest here, and saw this group of zombies, which gave me a chance to earn another trophy. For this trophy, you have to headshot an enemy from 75 meters away without aiming down sights. So if you can find a group of zombies, they're usually the best ones to do it on. So all I did is just sat back more than 75 meters away and spammed hipfire until I hit one in the head, earning me Loner Shooter. It's at this point I realized my earlier mistake in missing the side quest at Icarus, so I quickly decided to start a new game and rushed back through the Lesser Zone. Along the way, I ended up earning another trophy at the S.T.A.L.K.E.R facility by killing 4 enemies in the same fight with 4 different weapons. Using my knife, a double-barrel shotgun, AK, and a Makarov pistol, I earned the trophy Personal Approach. Finally, I made it back to the Icarus facility and spoke with the technician here for the side quest called Side Hustle. For this quest, you have to go to a warehouse and recover some components. Now, in order to get the trophy, you need to recover the components without setting foot inside of the warehouse. The way you achieve this is climbing up one of the nearby rail platforms and shooting an explosive container next to the case of items that you need, which blows it out of the window and onto the ground, allowing you to pick them up, earning the trophy Stalker's Smarts. Returning back now to the main save file, I proceed forward with the 3 Captains mission. First off, I climb up this tower and kill the sniper who's providing overwatch for the meeting between Beard and Sultan, and pick up this unique rifle, Clusterfuck, which is an HK-416 and my favorite weapon in the game. I turn on the radio so that way I can listen in on Beard and Sultan's meeting. In order to get the trophy, what I need to do is instead of killing them, just hang out and wait for their meeting to conclude, at which point a bunch of mercenaries will show up and attempt to kill them. I then need to help their guards fight off the mercenaries, and once I've killed them, I can go and speak with them, earning me the trophy Good Old Days. This leads me now to the Circa Institute, where I hand off the scanner to Dr. Dahlin. He ends up asking me to assist with solving an anomaly that's sprung up in one of the labs, which is preventing them from performing a test, which I head off to take care of. This gives me my first experience with the Burr mutants in Stalker 2, which are easily my most hated mutants to fight, mainly because they can summon a protective shield for a couple of seconds, making it impossible to damage them while they're still able to damage you, and can also rip your weapon out of your hands, making them just really annoying to fight. Along the way, I meet up once more with Dr. Herman, who tells me not to trust Dr. Dahlin. With the anomaly dealt with, I meet up once again with Dahlin and Korshunov, who reveals that the artifact that destroyed my apartment is actually an alpha artifact capable of activating powerful machines, including the Wish Granter from Shadow of Chernobyl. They end up activating the Wish Granter, which causes ward soldiers to start attacking me. After fighting them off for a few minutes, it's revealed to have just been a hallucination caused by the Wish Granter. I once again find Dr. Herman, who's been taken captive and is tied to a chair, as well as a new character, Agatha, who gives me the choice to either spare or execute Dr. Herman. Which, despite me sparing everyone else in the game thus far, I decide to kill him for betraying me. It's now finally time to use that alpha artifact from the prologue to activate equipment to harness the anomalous energy of the zone. This is the mission that S.T.A.L.K.E.R and by extension Ward have been working towards their whole time. As expected though, things go wrong, and the alpha artifact is stolen by Strider, who appears to be under the control of the monolith once more. As the cutscene ends, I earn the trophy House of Glass. With this trophy, I am now officially halfway through the trophy list for Stalker 2. If you're enjoying this video and want to see more, please do consider subscribing. And as an added incentive, once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to force myself to platinum Wolfenstein 2. With the Institute being destroyed, all of the Noon faction members have turned back into their former monolith selves and are now hostile to me. I recover the data from the Institute servers and leave with it while Korshunov and Dahlin evacuate on helicopter. Now that Monolith is running wild across the zone, this gives me a chance to head back towards Cilicia, where I get a distress call on the radio about Monolith attacking the town. Heading into town, I help them fight off the Monolith attack, and this leads into a questline where I have to help them prepare to defend themselves against future Monolith attacks. It's all pretty straightforward stuff, mainly some fetch quests, and then go to a location, kill a group of Monolith guys, and return back. And upon completing this quest, I earn the trophy, Baptism by Fire, for helping defend Cilicia. As I was heading outside, I realized a group of Monolith troops was coming in to attack Cilicia again, so this gave me an idea to grab another trophy. I quickly pounded a couple bottles of vodka to get drunk, and then walked outside, lined myself up with a fence with some Monolith guys, and gunned them down to earn the trophy, keeping your hands steady, for killing an enemy through cover while drunk. From here, I continued on with the main story, which took me to the Dugas transmitter station to try and stop Faust. Since I've sided with Ward up until now, I joined them for the assault, which leads into one of the most annoying segments in the game. You have to push through some Monolith troops at a checkpoint, and then you start getting affected by C radiation, while Faust has multiple doppelgangers pop up to shoot at you, which infinitely respawn. What you have to do is hold out until a helicopter with Colonel Korshunov crashes, and then flee the checkpoint, all while being shot at. This ended up taking me quite a few attempts to do, especially because my weapons and armor were low durability. But eventually, after a couple of attempts, I was able to make it away. I was then tasked with discovering a way to defeat Faust's C control, and along the way discovered some rodent mutants, and using an RPG that I had picked up to kill one of them, earned the trophy Wiped Out. Next up, I swung by Rostock, which is the bar area from Shadow of Chernobyl, and while here I participated in the arena and won all the fights, killing the champion and earning his unique SPAS 12 shotgun Sledgehammer, which quickly became one of my favorite weapons to use. Following that, I was sent to Agroprom to collect some information. While here, I climbed up a smokestack and jumped down onto these floating rocks to cushion my fall, earning me the trophy Bouncy for surviving a 30-meter drop. After getting what I needed to fight Faust, I end up going to the Ward base and discover that Colonel Korshunov survived the helicopter crash, although he's quite a bit beaten up as a result of it. I end up joining with Captain Zotov for another assault on the Dugas, during which he ends up sacrificing himself, giving me a chance at fighting Faust, which leads into probably the most annoying boss fight in this game. So the way Faust's fight works is that you enter the arena and have to destroy 3 C transmitters, which inflict C damage on you, as well as dealing with Faust's doppelgangers who are popping up and shooting at you the whole time. Once the transmitters are destroyed, this leads you into phase 2 of the fight. Here you have to deal with his clones and himself, and in order to beat him, you have to shoot the miniature C transmitter on his hip until it's destroyed. The big issue with the fight is that the real Faust will oftentimes be hiding in cover where you can't easily get an angle on his transmitter. Between him and his clones shooting at you, it makes it nearly impossible for you to actually push up and get an angle to damage him without taking significant damage yourself, especially being on veteran difficulty. To make it even worse, because of having to fight my way through all the Monolith troops on the way to reach Faust, my weapons and equipment are in really bad shape, making the fight just that much harder to complete. Eventually, I figured out the strategy that worked for me is using these different pieces of cover in this corner of the arena, hiding behind them and trying to bait Faust into approaching me. mag dumping him with my AK and other weapons I have, and eventually dealing enough damage with my Makarov to finish him off and win the fight. It took easily 50 attempts for me to beat him, and as soon as I beat him, it leads me into this cutscene where I'm hanging onto the edge of the transmitter. He offers me his hand, and I have two choices I can make here, either accept his help or climb up myself. I accept his help, earning me the trophy, One Awkward Step, which of course he drops me to my death. Here's a fun fact for you, it doesn't make an autosave when you beat Faust, so as soon as you do beat him and then end up dying to get that trophy, you have to fight him again. So I went ahead and started fighting him once again. Luckily this time I was able to beat him within only about 10 attempts, and I pulled myself up earning the other trophy, Monolith Envoy. This leads into a couple minute cutscene where Faust explains the zone to you a bit more, which is honestly a pretty cool reward for beating this fight, although the better reward is earning the trophy, such as the Will of the Monolith, for killing Faust. With the Faust fight out of the way, I started working on collecting the various items I needed to within the area, mainly equipment upgrade flash drives as well as artifacts. Along the way, I stumbled upon my first pseudo-giant mutant, which I took this opportunity to go ahead and kill it, earning me the trophy Zone's Deadliest Predator for killing every mutant in the game at least once. With that out of the way, it's time for some more main story missions. Korshunov got this nifty exoskeleton, so he's able to walk again, and using a device that I recovered from Faust's body, we can activate a device called the Visiograph, which ends up summoning a representative of the C consciousness, a group of 7 scientists who put themselves into machines in an attempt to interact with the information field surrounding the Earth called the Noosphere. But instead of being able to control the Noosphere, they ended up in control of the zone. Although in the first game, Shadow of Chernobyl, they were all killed off by S.T.A.L.K.E.R, they're here once more saying I need to head off to another lab, which has a machine that I can use to interact with dead individuals who are still present within the zone. With the conversation ending, I earn the trophy. I see you have many questions. As I began to leave the Malachite facility, killing the Spark soldiers who showed up here, I get contacted by Dr. Sherba, who I met earlier in the game at the Agroprom facility. He requests my help in recovering some collars off of mutants and bringing them to him as part of an experiment he's conducting. This is the first quest in a chain for the final side quest related trophy that I need. After bringing him the collars that he requested, he then asks me to go out and destroy a jammer that's interfering with his experiment, which I quickly take care of, and then he lets me know that he'll contact me later with a reward. Jumping back to the main story, I met up with the doctor from Shadow of Chernobyl who has Strider injured at his house. When I arrive with a medical device to heal Strider, we both get attacked and nearly killed, causing the doctor to take action and kill Strider to save me. The doctor then reveals to me that he's actually one of the members of the C Consciousness Project who was supposed to enter an 8th and final pod, but he backed out at the last moment. He gives me info about where to find the lab I'm searching for before I leave, and this revelation earns me the trophy, Doctor's Oath. With the information from Dr. Kaimanov, I head to the Cordon area and meet up with my good pal Sidorovich. He gives me information about the lab I'm looking for, Lab X3, which I meet up with another Stalker to end up reaching this laboratory. At the end of the lab, TV screens turn on with the brainwashing program that ends up affecting the Stalker I came in with. I meet up with S.T.A.L.K.E.R, the protagonist of the first game, and earn the trophy Living Legend. S.T.A.L.K.E.R reveals to me that he wants to protect the zone and not let it fall under control of either Ward or Spark, and asks for my help. He also reveals the location of the lab for the quest Subtle Matter. This quest is the point where you have to choose which ending you'll be going for. Once you reach the end of the mission, you'll be able to step into a pod and communicate with an image of Strider. Before you do that though, you need to make a manual save unless you want to play through the entire game again for the other endings. Once inside the pod, I have a nice chat with Strider, and I step outside to see Scar once more. He offers me the choice of working with him or refusing. For this first ending though, I'm going to be sticking with Ward, so I refuse to help him out. In retaliation, he locks me back in the pod and leaves. I'm able to break out of it and fight my way through the Spark forces guarding the lab, and once I get outside, I get contacted by Dr. Sherba about my reward for the earlier questline, so I make my way to see him. And to nobody's surprise, he tries to betray me and turn me into a controller like Faust was. Thanks to Professor Dupolov, who gave me some magic vodka, I'm able to resist the sea influence, and able to take my revenge on Dr. Sherba, earning me the trophy on a leash for putting an end to his experiments. I then make my way to a facility as instructed by S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and thanks to having the ward badge, I'm able to enter through the front door. When I ask about the Stalker project, the ward soldiers here start to attack me. I work my way through the facility and get ambushed by Korshunov and some of his men. I'm given the choice to either work with S.T.A.L.K.E.R or work with Ward, which once again I end up choosing to work with Ward, and am asked by Korshunov to find my way into Pripyat. While working my way towards Pripyat, I enter my 6th and final Arch Anomaly and collect the 6th Arch artifact in the game, earning me the trophy, Curiouser and Curiouser. This leads me into a sequence which plays out pretty much identically no matter which side you support, the only real difference being dialogue between the characters. You go to Yanov Station and find Richter, who tells you to find a Stalker near the Limansk tunnel. You get information from the Stalker, which allows you to get past Yanov Station and into the Jupiter area leading into Pripyat. While in the Jupiter area, an emission started to occur, which gave me a chance to earn one of the most annoying trophies in the game. The trophy in question is Peace and Quiet, which according to the trophy text requires you to kill everyone in a camp before the alarm is set off. What's really annoying about this trophy is that I've done exactly what the trophy text has asked me to do quite a few times throughout the game. I've even gone back to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R facility and killed every guard there with stealth kills only, and the trophy still wouldn't pop. What ended up working for me is just tossing a grenade into the staircase a couple times until I killed all 4 bandits with the same grenade. Shortly after entering Pripyat, I heard radio chatter about a monolith attack, which I proceeded to head over and assist in killing off all the monolith troops, which gave me a chance to meet with Colonel Deg-Tyrev, the protagonist from the 3rd game in the Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy, Call of Pripyat, and earning me the trophy, the Pripyat Guardian. Pripyat is the second to last location in the game, but pretty much the final location you'll be spending any significant amount of time in, so I'm about to finish off a whole lot of cumulative trophies for the game. The first trophy that I'm going to earn is Scanning Complete for finding all 11 scanners in the game. The next one that I earn is the trophy Between the Lines for opening up and looting a specific hotel room in Pripyat. A little bit later, I ended up with the Drowsy status effect, so I decided to go for a pretty annoying trophy to get. For this one, you need to experience the status effects of drowsiness, hunger, bleed, see, radiation, and drunkenness at the exact same time. The best place to do this is the Stone Village anomaly near Wild Island, as it inflicts sea damage on you, and there's glass shard anomalies nearby which can inflict bleed. What you want to do is equip artifacts that apply radiation damage, chug some alcohol so that way you get hungry and drunk, and then be nearby the sea radiation so that way you start seeing hallucinations, and then walk into one of the glass shards or be shot by a hallucination so you get the bleed status effect. Once you have all 6 at the same time, the trophy Bingo should pop. The next trophy that I earned is Flash Royal for collecting all 77 equipment upgrade flash drives throughout the game. This now leaves me with 3 more trophies other than ending related ones, which I'll be getting a little bit later. For now, it's time to get my first ending. I recover information about the underground facility within Pripyat, and am told to make any final preparations I need to before assaulting the entrance. This is the point of no return for Stalker 2, so I make a manual save before I enter the underground facility, so that way I can come back to the save file later. The whole ending sequence changes up a little bit depending on which faction you side with. Since I've sided with Ward, the first thing that happens is I have to fight Richter inside of this lab and kill him. Next up, we install a device to harness the anomalous energy of the zone, and I'm told that in order to actually achieve this goal, a link needs to be established between the generators and this facility. So I step into a teleporter, which takes me to the last area of the game, the generators. I should unlock the trophy, the 4 wins, for having explored every area in the game, but I did make a bit of a mistake which I'll have to correct later. After establishing the link between the generator sites, I reach this teleporter room where I get to fight the second most annoying boss in the game, S.T.A.L.K.E.R. The way his fight works is that he's constantly teleporting around the arena, which makes it incredibly difficult to deal damage to him. The one saving grace of this fight is that you're able to shoot any part of his body to deal damage to him. What's especially annoying about the fight is that once he gets to phase 2, he'll throw up a Tesla anomaly which will seek you out if you have artifacts equipped, and basically one-shot kill you when you're on veteran, meaning I had to do this whole fight without any artifacts. Finally, after around 30 attempts, I was able to have a good run and finish S.T.A.L.K.E.R off, earning me the trophy, Legends Never Die. A while later, I walk into a hallway that's filled with brainwashing equipment, which is the exact same hallway that we see in the canonical ending for Stalker Clear Sky, which was being used to brainwash S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Here we meet S.T.A.R, who has some fantastic dialogue with his corpse.
Know him, Skip. A fellow of infinite jest, a most excellent fancy. And now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it.
This leads into his boss fight, where in order to damage him, you have to turn on brainwashing equipment in the 3 segments of his arena while he's in them in order to damage him. This fight is thankfully much easier than S.T.A.L.K.E.'s, so I was able to knock it out pretty fast, and upon killing him, earn the trophy, Alas, Poor Yorick. Now all that remains is to help get Korshunov to the 8th pod and getting him inside. Along the way though, I have the hardest non-boss encounter in the game to get through. What makes this encounter so incredibly difficult is you have multiple monolith soldiers up top in this arena with railguns who can almost one-shot kill you on veteran, while you have others on the ground armed with assault rifles and shotguns. This encounter took me quite a few attempts and multiple minutes worth of frustration before I finally had some luck and made it through. This finally brings me to the ending of the game. As soon as I walk through the door, I earn the trophy, Brave New World, for beating the game with Korshunov sacrificing himself. I would show off the ending cutscenes, but this video is already long enough as it is, and I really think that you should go ahead and play Stalker 2 for yourself before you see the endings. Now it's time to do all of that again, but this time working with Spark. I accept Scar's offer back at the lab, and go to the ward facility like S.T.A.L.K.E.R said. This time though, I choose to attempt an escape instead of working with Ward, which ends in me getting captured by Ward. Dr. Dahlin comes and bails me out, and I'm able to escape from the Ward base and begin making my way towards Pripyat. Along the way though, I end up following a railroad track to discover the Chornobyl nuclear power plant area, which was the 22nd area I failed to explore on my Ward playthrough. Even though you can't actually enter the Chornobyl plant, you have to get the pop-up saying you discovered it in order to get the 4 wins trophy. The only major difference in this ending compared to the ending for Ward is I have to fight Colonel Korshunov. His fight is pretty simple as well. Basically you just mag dump him until he jumps into one of these vents to recharge, and then you run up and melee him. Once you melee him for the 2nd time, you get a long cutscene which ends the fight, and earns me the trophy, All Quiet in the Zone, for killing him. A few seconds after I go through the teleporter into the generators region, I end up unlocking the trophy, the 4 wins, for discovering all 22 areas of the map. I then kill S.T.A.L.K.E.R once again, fight my way through a whole lot more monolith troops, and get Scar to the pod, earning me the trophy, Today Never Ends. For the next 2 endings, I chose not to join Scar and refused to work with Ward, which lets me go down the S.T.A.L.K.E.R endings. Just like the previous ending, I have to fight Colonel Korshunov, and then this time I'm asked by S.T.A.L.K.E.R to go and kill Dr. Kaimanov. Before I interacted with the doctor though, I made a save file so that way I can save some time, and then walked into his house to talk to him. I'm given the choice to either kill him or lower my gun. This time around, I decided to go for the Project Y ending, so I lowered my gun. I have to fight S.T.A.L.K.E.R and S.T.A.L.K.E.R once again, as well as all the monolith soldiers, and once I reach the pods, instead of another character stepping in, Skiff himself steps into the pod. Once the credits finish rolling and I return to the main menu, I earn the trophy Project Y. This leaves me with the final ending. For this one, I shoot Dr. Kaimanov instead of sparing him, and this thankfully lets me proceed forward without having to fight S.T.A.L.K.E.R again, although I still have to kill both S.T.A.L.K.E.R and the monolith soldiers like I did for the other endings. So some more frustration later, I reach the ending with S.T.A.L.K.E.R and earn the trophy She Will Never Be Free. So this leaves me with 2 final trophies needed for the platinum. I reload my ward save before I hit the point of no return, and went ahead and sold all of my spare artifacts that I had, accumulating a total of 1 million coupons, and then proceeded to go on a big spending spree, spending a total of 1 million coupons, earning me the trophy, Coupons to Burn. This now leaves me with the final trophy in the game, Miracle Hoarder, which coincidentally ended up being the most annoying trophy for me to get. What made this trophy so frustrating is the way Stalker 2's artifact system works. There's 4 types of artifacts that can be found in corresponding anomalies: thermal, electrical, chemical, and gravitational. And there's 4 tiers of rarity: common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. When you approach an anomaly field where an artifact spawns and get within approximately 100 meters of the artifact spawn point, the game rolls the drop table on what artifact it spawns in. Early in the game, you have a very high chance of receiving a common artifact, a small chance of getting an uncommon, and no chance of getting a rare or legendary artifact. However, as you progress through the game, the spawn rate changes, making it more likely you'll receive a rarer artifact. Once you get near the end of the game, like where I'm at right before the point of no return, the spawn rates are approximately 10% chance for receiving a common artifact, 70% chance for an uncommon, 15% for a rare, and 5% for a legendary. The problem is, I still need 17 common artifacts for the trophy. Oh, and to make matters worse, artifact progress does not carry over across save slots, meaning even if I were to start a brand new game, I would have to collect all artifacts in that same game in order for me to get the trophy. The one saving grace is you can make a manual save roughly 120 meters or more away from an artifact spawn, and each time you approach it, it will re-roll the drop table, meaning that you can basically keep farming the same artifact spawn point. Additionally, I found out, once you pick up an artifact for the first time and receive the notification on your screen about an artifact being acquired, it counts towards the trophy's progress. So, this is basically what I was doing for the next 10 hours straight, was just reloading save files, farming the artifact spawns, trying to get the common artifacts because I was too stubborn to make a new save file. I highly recommend that if you're going for the platinum on Stalker 2 yourself, that you do not make my mistake, and early in the game, farm all of the common artifacts before going to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R Institute, which is where most people agree that the first artifact spawn rate change occurs. Finally though, after about 10 hours of farming, I was left with only 1 artifact needed for the trophy. Finally, I was finished. All 58 trophies acquired in just over 77 hours worth of playtime. At the time of recording this video, I am the second person in the world to earn the Platinum Trophy according to PSN profiles. There may be other people who did earn the Platinum before I did, who aren't registered with PSN profiles, or have their profile set to private though. Regardless though, I will take it because it's still really awesome seeing my name on the leaderboard. Stalker 2 was an absolutely fantastic game to play through in my opinion, especially after I just got done playing through the Legends of the Zone trilogy. And I would say the Platinum experience was incredibly enjoyable as well, despite my own self-inflicted suffering with common artifacts, and playing the game on veteran difficulty. With all that being said though, let me know what you think of Stalker 2 if you've played it yourself. And once again, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing the Platinum for Wolfenstein 2, so if you'd like to make me suffer, please do consider subscribing. And if there's any games you'd like to see me check out, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.